Yeah, I was just telling everybody around that partly because I don't remember that well because it was 17 years ago, but I do remember there was more green, more trees, just a lower city. The buildings weren't so high, and there seemed to be more space. But also perhaps because that time the Asian Art Museum was in a park. So, the sense of green was what I remember. But it is quite developed now. I mean, still small and manageable, but it's become quite big and different from 17 years ago.
いいですか?
I'm not sure yet, but I'm very interested in the subcultures of Fukuoka or generally Japan. And I have been, I think you were just told that I went to a maid cafe yesterday, and the day before we explored the red light district. And I'm interested in the idea of imekura, which is, to me, is very Japanese, the sense of fantasy, living in a temporary world for a moment, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, and then returning to the so-called real world. And this is done through fantasy, costuming, clothes, speech, the way they talk, and the environment, and I find that very fascinating. So maybe, I don't know, so far this has struck me this time when I came. I didn't decide to be artist very early. I only started studying art in my mid-20s. And I studied art because I didn't get a scholarship to study, do Islamic studies in Egypt. And
Really?
I have always wanted to be an academic, doing more, research, academic stuff.
Wait.
But
Islamic?
just Islamic studies, yeah, in Egypt. I got into Egypt, but I didn't get a scholarship. And I got a scholarship for art instead, so that's how I ended up in art. So it was sort of...
got a scholarship, the art scholarship in Egypt?
No, in US.
In US?
Yeah.
So in the end you didn't go to Egypt?
No. I've been to Egypt, I didn't go study there.
Just for holiday?
Yeah. So I was interested in sociology, Islamic studies, anthropology. These were my 3 areas I was very interested in. But I didn't get a scholarship, and then I got a scholarship instead to study art, a master's degree in art in US. So I studied art. But I was living in US for 10 years, so art was just one of my areas. I've studied other areas like literature, philosophy, cultural studies, other areas. Definitely. I think it taught me to do research for projects in a different way, because in academia or academics, you have to learn how to do research methodologies and to do it in a systematic way. And that has helped me in terms of developing my own art, because I tend to work very differently from a lot of artists. I research, I read, I find out more about a topic, and from that research it will give me ideas of how to translate the ideas into something visual.